Odds are you're here because you're having trouble with the WWE 2K26 Gauntlet Showcase match, but you've come to the right place. We got a couple tips and tricks that should get you past this match, but before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have been enjoying the 26 content, we are on our way to 25K subs. Let's go on ahead and get into it. WWE 2K26 Gauntlet Showcase match actually takes a grip to going ahead and finish. Now, it's about an hour and a half long, depending at the pace that you're getting this match done. And honestly, if it takes you 2 hours, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, it really just depends on how you do it. Now, I really think that it's not possible to get this match done in under an hour. There are 20 opponents. You're going from the first person all the way to opponent 21. So it's one of those matches where you obviously need to be very careful with how you approach it, because if you start getting towards the end and you lose, oh brother, you are going to be full of rage. Let's go on ahead and get into it. The first thing that you guys are going to do is CM Punk is the character that you want to complete this with. Now, there is ways to get it done with AJ, but I'm speaking personally from my experience. AJ, I used her the very first time because obviously it's tempting. It's her return to WWE games, but I just couldn't go on ahead and get it done with her. And I went for about 20 minutes with her and I ended up losing. And part of that is because she don't have resiliency. At least for me, she didn't have it. Maybe if you guys find a way to change that, let me know down below. But CM Punk does have resiliency, which I don't recommend that you use till later on in the match. But the first thing you want to do with the first couple of opponents that you do get in this match, you want to build up finishers as your safety net. When the first wrestler gets beat, because that's going to be your max health, you want to make sure that you at least have 2 to 3 finishers. Even if you don't have a third finisher, at least try to have your signature bar maxed out. And one thing that I was doing is I was beating up on a wrestler before I used my finisher, because this is locked on hard for those that didn't know. So there is, you know, really no way to just hit a finisher and pin right away. It's going to take you a little bit of time. Now, if you feel that you want to hit a finisher on somebody like Roman Reigns as soon as they come in, try and beat them down a little bit more, because obviously that's going to be one of the higher overalls that you have to face, because there's a variety of wrestlers throughout this showcase match that you're going to have to go through. And I felt like Roman Reigns, Batista, those were some of the two that were very, very hard to beat. You know, Batista, he made me use my resiliency, which we will get into in a bit. But just looking at the structure of the match and how you should be doing it is doing it that way. Now, there is going to get to a point where as you're winning, you're going to see your health going back up, but it's going to be very, very easy to deteriorate it, because you're going to start noticing that you got cuts, you got bruises. It's just going to be a tough time after you get to that 8th, 9th opponent. And one thing that I started doing was I started going outside the ring whenever I felt that I was in danger. And you guys need to do that. Utilize the outside. There are no countouts in this match, but there are also no weapons. There are 2 chairs in this match that you need to use strategically. Now, the way that I did it was when I felt that I was in danger and I was getting beat up even outside, I was using those chairs to my advantage, but you don't use them all the way till they break, because you only get a couple hits before the chairs become unusable in game. So you need to be strategic. This match is all about strategy, y'all. You want to be careful with the debuffer, because a lot of what I was doing was I was hitting a lot of strikes, but then I realized that I was going into the purple state where I couldn't reverse anything even if I was timing it correctly, because of the way the debuff works. You want to make sure that as you're doing this, you are being extremely careful. And what I was doing when I was outside was it was very easy to fight outside, because you can get them in that stun state. One thing for me was the computer likes to go for the Irish whip back into the ring. So if you're spamming B or O, depending on what console you're on, it is most definitely very, very easy to get it beat that way. You can go all the way up to the top of the ramp. You can go by the announce table, whatever you want to do in terms of trying to stretch out the match as much as possible as you're putting the beats on somebody outside. So just my 2 cents when it comes down to that. I feel like this match is more time consuming than anything else, because you really got to be concentrated for the entirety of this match. One thing that I was doing a lot too was if I saw that the opponent had a finisher, I would sometimes wait for them to try and hit it and try to reverse it. Now again, that is a gamble. I was doing that and hitting them with my finisher to try and get them out of there as soon as possible. And another thing, when you hit a finisher, there are going to be multiple times throughout this match where wrestlers will test your patience by kicking out of a finisher that you think like, no way. And the one thing that I will recommend is don't panic, hit them with another move, maybe another grapple, maybe a combo, and go for the pin again, because 8 out of 10 times they did not kick out of that. It almost seems like 2K gives them that push to kick out of the finisher, but then the computer doesn't really react to kicking out shortly after getting hit with something else again. And another thing as well that I noticed was when you're grappling, if you do a grapple from behind, the odds of them reversing it is pretty low as well. So again, use all these little things to your advantage to make sure that you're clearing the gauntlet as fast as possible. I think this showcase gauntlet alternative is probably one of the best things that they've added. I understand that, you know, some people may not want to do that because they want to play the story aspect of the showcase and what showcase is really known for aside from the gauntlet. But for someone like me that finds the showcase repetitive year after year, I really like that they did this and gave us an opportunity to get the gauntlet done this way. Now, one thing that this gauntlet made me think was I should probably go and play the story as I was playing this, because it was just that ridiculous. And props to 2K for giving us a challenge. I'm somebody that does genuinely like a challenge in these games, and they said, all right, you don't want to play the story? Well, you're gonna have to get past this match. You know what I'm saying? And you do get every single unlockable once you finish from the showcase. So again, if you do this, you don't have to play the showcase for any other reason. So just something to keep in mind. As you're doing this and you go outside, you understand that you have more freedom because there's different gambles that you can take that you know that you're not going to be pinned for. Now, one thing that these wrestlers do like to do is if they hit you with a certain move, they can catch you off guard and pin you. It happened to me with Batista, and I had to use my resiliency, which, going back to resiliency, you want to make sure that you are saving that till the absolute, like, nitty-gritty of the match, y'all. You should not be using your resiliency within the first 10 opponents. And I know that that's hard, but you should not be using it around that time. It needs to be around 15, 16. And when I used it at 16, I was still nervous because I'm like, dude, I still have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I still have like 5 more opponents to go, and I had no resiliency. So you need to be very strategic where you use your resiliency at during this match, because if you use it too early, you may regret that and continue going. I'm at the point where if I had to use my resiliency between opponents 5 and 8, if I were you, I'd just restart the match, because if you're struggling that early to kick out, odds are you are going to struggle to kick out later on during the match. And that's not to unmotivate anybody, but just being completely honest, it is a tough match and you are going to need it as a backup. A lot of these things that I'm mentioning to you guys, you need to use it as a safety net. And again, do not use the chairs right away. Wait till you get to the end, because I didn't realize that you can use chairs till Rob Van Dam grabbed it and walked into the ring and banged me upside the head with it. I really thought he was gonna get disqualified or something, so I let him hit me. I let them take the hit because I was already at like opponent 12 at this time, just to make sure that I can go on ahead and use it after. So that's exactly what was done. So just use these tips to help you out. Obviously, you need to be somewhat decent at the game to be able to get this done, and that's no offense to anybody, but I feel that these tips will definitely take you to the next level with this gauntlet match if you are not there yet or feel that you can get it done, but you need a little bit of clarity on what can and cannot be done. Now, I do go on ahead and wish you guys luck, because this was a match that is going to take you a bit of time, but I feel that this should help you out. Let me know down below if this was able to get you through, or if you have any tips for the community that's looking on ways on how to defeat this match. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.